Hello everyone, myself Sanat Kumar Swai, Assistant Professor at Vedang Institute of Technology. Hope you are all doing well. Today's class we will be discussing about the contemporary. In the previous class, we have discussed about the transformational leadership. Um, in today's class, contemporary leadership. What exactly is the meaning of contemporary leadership, and what is the significance of the contemporary in today's business political business scenario? So, looking at few slides, also get to know about few examples and what is the correlation contemporary contemporary business environment. Right. So let us start now. The first is introduction. So what exactly is contemporary leadership all about? So you see, the society is fast changing, isn't it? The business atmosphere, environment, the landscape is fast changing. So definitely, in this fast changing world, you'll find that this contemporary leadership, they play a very important role, particularly in the organizational behavior of any. Uh, Next is the dynamism. Okay, dynamism is very dynamic. This society these days, you will find it's very dynamic. Okay, I mean, a lot of dynamism has come into play. Why? Because you will see that a lot of technological advancement is there. Okay, a lot of technologies have come into play. Okay, just couple of years back. Okay, and you will see that the people working in any organization, or the workforce, okay, they are like extremely diverse. Okay, and what happens is that definitely the organizations these days, they expect the leaders to be innovative. They need to be innovative. They need to understand the culture, particularly in the Indian context, if we say that they need to understand the diverse culture, and they should be aware of various. So it becomes an important aspect. Okay, this contemporary leadership becomes an important aspect. Is this world. Next, contemporary leadership is not just about guiding a team towards achieving business goals. It's about fostering an environment that encourages growth. Okay, so not only guide these kinds of leadership, then their role is not only to guide a team that they need to perform a task accordingly, but they need to create a environment, a milieu, you can, so that environment encourages the growth, inclusivity, and resilience. Okay, it's not like we need to um, um, in guide, or we need to I mean teach the team, inspire any kind of team to do any particular work. But if we are able to change the environment or change the scenario, then definitely the team is going to change them. Right. Next, in the Indian context, if we say that, we'll see that there's a blend of traditional values, okay, and there's a blend of modern practices, modern business practices. Okay, what happens is that this offers a unique perspective on leadership, making it essential to understand the nuances of contemporary leadership within this framework. So there is a framework. Okay, so within that framework, how the leaders of these multinational organizations these days, they blend the traditional values, Indian traditional values, along with the modern business ethics and modern business practices. Okay, so that they are able to understand these nuances of contemporary leadership within this framework. Okay. So this is all about the introduction. Next is meaning of contemporary leadership. Now, what do you mean by contemporary leadership? So you see, contemporary leadership refers to modern approaches and practices in leading organizations. Okay, so what are the modern approaches these days which we are able to apply to? Okay, what are the practices which we are going to apply in this organization? So you see, unlike traditional leadership, okay, which focuses on hierarchical and authoritarian. See, what the traditional companies, if you see, traditional organizations, if you see, you will find out that they follow a hierarchical and authoritarian leadership. So what happens is that in those kinds of leadership styles, you will find that uh, it is totally different. It is totally on a contrary with respect to this contemporary leadership. Why? Because in the contemporary leadership, it emphasizes collaboration. See, in the hierarchical or authoritarian organizations, you may not find this kinds of collaboration. Okay. Next is empowerment, which may not be found in the traditional organizations. Okay. And adaptive strategies. Okay. Various kinds of adaptive strategies may be taken into consideration, but that also may not be found in the traditional organization. Okay. Now we'll be looking at few characteristics. Okay. What are the characteristics of these contemporary leaderships? Okay. The first one is visionary thinking. Okay. What do you mean by visionary thinking? See, these kind of leaders, the contemporary leaders, they should have a clear vision. Okay. It's clear set of visions. Okay, what they need to do, what they ought to do for their organizations. Okay, how they're going to achieve that, those um, goals, aims and objectives. Okay, they have to be visionary. Okay. Next, emotional intelligence. Now what do you mean by emotional intelligence? Okay, emotional intelligence means how you are able to understand and manage your emotions. So that becomes a very important aspect in today's modern society. Okay. um, you need to understand your emotions and what that is going to, what kind of impact that is going to play on other people. So then only you will be able to understand, or then you will be able to foster a healthy work and right. Right, next is inclusive leadership. Now what do you mean by inclusive leadership? Inclusive leadership means inclusion. Okay, include from inclusion, inclusive means inclusion. Okay, so you have to understand various diversity. Okay, various kinds of diversified workforce are going to work in your organization. So how you are going to promote that diversity? Okay, and an inclusive culture where all team members feel valued and engaged. Okay, so you are going to make all the team members that they need to feel valued, that yes, I am a part of this organization and I will do my best for the organization to grow and I'm being valued. So that is known as inclusion. Okay, you got to include all the people working in that particular organization. Next is adaptability. Definitely, see, you need to be adaptable. Okay, adaptable means in any kind of organization it is bound to have certain changes. Okay, so you have to be various flexibility has to be adopted. Okay, without flexibility that becomes very much difficult to for the organization to grow. Okay, so adaptability has, I mean, various flexibility and various change should be adaptable to all the people should be adaptable to various change and through various adaptability. Next, transformational leadership. Transformational leadership we have already discussed in the previous class. Okay, so how you are going to transform? Okay, what kind of change you are going to bring in the leadership? Okay. So through a transformational leadership, inspiring and motivating employee. Okay, to again is the same thing. How they can exceed from their own expectation to work for that organization. So you change, you make a transformation, right? So these are the uh, characteristic of contemporary leadership. Okay, characteristic of contemporary leadership. Next, understanding contemporary leadership. What do you mean by contemporary leadership? Contemporary means is present. What do you mean by contemporary? Contemporary means something present. When we say present society, means contemporary society. So contemporary leadership means present leadership. What is the present leadership? The present leadership or the contemporary leadership, what they do that they encompass modern approaches to inspiring and motivating followers. with a focus on communication, collaboration, and adaptability. And this has also been discussed in the previous class that these kinds of leadership or the leaders, they need to understand what is the modern approaches, okay, and how we need to motivate our staff, how we need to motivate our team members, how through various kinds of communication skills, okay, clear communication. We need to have a collaboration, we need to have an adaptability skills, okay. So through this we will be able to understand the modern approach, okay. Next, key characteristic include transformational leadership, situational leadership. We have already discussed this in the previous classes. A servant leadership, authentic leadership, and leader-member exchange. These are the few characteristics of the contemporary leadership which they follow these days. Okay. Next, so these theories emphasize inspiring and motivating these um, um, people, staff, to understand to understand their what is their potential, okay, how they can adapt to these kinds of changes of leadership style, and they can work constructively for the betterment of the organizations which they are working. Next, significance in organizational behavior. So what is the significance? Okay, what is the significance? First one is like employee engagement and motivation, how you can engage with the employee, uh, and how you can uh, motivate your employee, okay. That's very much very one of the most important aspect of the contemporary leadership, okay. Right. So the leaders who practice contemporary leadership styles tend to have more engaged and motivated employees. You'll see that they have a motivated employee who an empowering employee, okay, who follow this contemporary leaderships, who follows the employee engagement and motivation. So, by empowering employees and involving them in decision-making process, leaders can boost morale and productivity. Definitely. See, when you are engaging your employee and engage and motivating them, what happens that the morale between the among the employees, it increases, and they can perform better. They can produce better. The productivity level goes, okay. Next, innovation and creativity. You will see definitely various kinds of innovations is been taken into consideration. Your creativity level is been considered more effectively, okay. So a contemporary leader, they have to focus more on the innovation, they have to focus more on the creativity level of their employees. Then only the organization is going to grow in a much faster way. Next, organizational culture. You have to bring in organizational culture. See, these days you will see that organizational culture has been followed by most of the organizations, but still there are certain traditional organizations which do not follow any kind of organizational culture. So particularly the contemporary leadership these days, you will see that they promote a culture of continuous learning. Okay, if you are working for a particular organization who does this kinds of organizational culture, you may be, if there is this requirement for you to be trained for certain projects or certain task, you may be trained for that. They may give you certain learning, certain um, 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 you know, um, I mean, people are being asked to train themselves. People are being asked to attain higher education for that. Various kinds of workshops are being introduced. Various kinds of training sessions are being introduced. So this is an organizational culture which has been adopted by the contemporary leadership. Next is conflict resolution. Conflict resolution. So the leaders, okay, the contemporary leaders who are having emotional intelligence, okay, or interpersonal skills, okay, what they do is that they can easily, or they can in a more effective way, they can handle or solve the conflict is arising in the organization. And if the conflict is being resolved in a more effective way, then definitely there will be harmonious workplace, that particular. Next is change management. The change is inevitable. Okay, there is change. We cannot avoid change in any organization. So when there is a requirement for change, okay, these kinds of contemporary leaders, they can, or they can implement the change management much more effective. Okay, if they are communicating in stuff. Right. Next example in Indian context. The first one is Infosys. In the previous class, we discussed about the CEO or the co-founder of Infosys. Who is he? Narayan Murthy. Here, who is he? This is Nandan Nilekani. Okay, so Nandan Nilekani, who is he? He's a co-founder. Co-founder, and he was also the former CEO, okay, of Infosys. So this particular person, okay, he also has a visionary thinking. He has a visionary thinking and transformational leadership quality. So this, he has also played an important role in is taking the company to maintain the strong organizational cultures which is present till today. So he emphasizes in inclusivity, innovation, and adaptability. So not only Nandan Nilekani, but there are other CEOs and other leadership personalities who prefer these kinds of inclusivity, innovation, or whatever other qualities which is provided by the presence. Next, Tata Group. I don't have to tell more about Tata Group because previous classes also we have already discussed. Okay, so this is one of the largest conglomerate, respected throughout the world and the world. Okay, so uh, Ratan Tata's leadership is one of the most effective, one of the most visionary leader till today, and most importantly, they have done a lot towards social responsibility. I don't think that any other organization have done so much for any kind of social, but they have undertaken social responsibility utmost. Next, Zomato. Okay, everybody must be aware of this. It's a food delivery app. Okay, so who is the founder of Zomato? Founder is Dipendra Goyal. Dipender Goyal. Okay, Dipender Goyal is the founder of Zomato. So his leadership, okay, you can see here, his leadership is also innovative and adaptive. Okay, you got to be innovative, you got to be adaptable. Okay, then only you will be able to be in the market. So that is why he is able to navigate the rapidly changing food technological industry. A lot many companies are there who are competing for in the food industry. So what is Goal's emphasis is that employee empowerment. The first one, okay, you need to remember the first one is employee empowerment. Okay. Second one is customer centric approach. Very important. Particularly when you are working for these kinds of industries, okay, when you are the CEO or you are the leader of these kinds of industries, then you got to focus on the employee, how you can empower your employee to the best of the best. And secondly, you have to have a customer centric approach. You have to have a customer centric, what exactly they want, what is their need, what is the requirement, and that drives this Zomato's growth and its market presence where it is today. Right. Next. So contemporary leadership in the Indian context. So there are a lot of contemporary leadership in the Indian context. I don't have to say all, but they are like Ratan Tata, Mukesh Ambani, Azim Premji, Sanjeev Bajaj, and lot many. Okay, so they have like these kinds of contemporary leadership qualities which you have already discussed. These are the contemporary leaders today in the Indian context. So with this, we have come to the conclusion of today's class. So what we have learned so far is that contemporary leadership is vital in shaping the organizational behavior of modern business. So these days you will see that this contemporary leadership, it is shaping the way the organizational behavior of the businesses this world. Next, in the Indian context, the integration of traditional values. Okay, the traditional values with the modern practices, business practices. It is very unique and effective approach to various kinds of organization. Okay. Next, visionary thinking. You have to emphasize on visionary thinking. Okay, you need to have a vision. Okay. Visionary thinking, emotional intelligence. If you don't have an emotional intelligence, that becomes difficult for you to understand your employees. Okay, and what exactly they want to, I mean, they want to express. Okay, their expression may not be able to, you may not be able to understand those expressions. Okay. Next is inclusivity. Inclusivity, adaptability, and transformation. Okay, these are the, you have to have a focus, or you have to put a lot of emphasis on these kinds of qualities. Okay, then only the leaders, or you can say the contemporary leaders, okay, they can uh, drive their organization where they are today through sustained success. And next, as market continues to navigate the complexities of global market, the principles of, okay, so what happens is that the today's society, or today's marketplace, is like a very volatile and it's a very dynamic uh, society, a dynamic marketplace. You need to understand, what exactly the business requires from this contemporary market. So it's like you need to have a innovative idea. Okay, various kinds of innovations is going to drive your organization, and you have to follow a organizational culture also. Okay, which is going to drive your organization to the place it, and in a much more productive. So thank you very much. I believe you have already covered most of the topic and most of the aspects of contemporary. Thank you very much for your time. Have a good